俺はルフィ、海賊王になる男だ。
It's a great day here at Kekfilet's YouTube channel, Patreon, Snapchat, Amazon Prime Plus, Hulu channel, and I'm here today with Project Green. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about yourself, Kek?
I'm doing good. A lot of you don't know, you couldn't tell until right now. I just broke the immersion that we were actually sitting in person together when normally we're on a computer screen. But I did a guide like this recently with Rob Lucci, and I actually kind of liked it. And we're gonna kind of keep the good times rolling, but this time with Red Purple Luffy. Kind of a spicy take. I would actually call it a dark horse. It's the best deck that can't make top cut, possibly, right? Like, pretty close.
Yep.
Right.
I would say that.
I know it did like I think it got top 8 in LCQ recently. I didn't ask that guy anything. I don't know if you had a discussion or knew who that was.
I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but yeah, I think he got 6th. Was it?
Yeah, it's excellent one. That's amazing, right?
Yeah,
out of 9 rounds, and in this meta, it's kind of crazy. But to be honest, this deck, I want to think of this deck as it has some of the worst matchups, but at the same time, it's really polarizing if you can play it exactly right. Because the 6K leader is very unique, right? And so it creates a new problem for every other deck to actually overcome. But as that 6K leader all of a sudden turns to a 7 or 8 or 9K leader, which is actually a new unique problem.
It is. I mean, BY has that going for it, but yeah,
that's a fake deck.
It's a fake deck.
That's a fake deck. How's actually real quick before we do this? What do you think? How do you feel about this in general with matchups? Like if you bring this to a tournament, like what do you want to see? What do you not want to see?
Honestly, like I mean, I even took this to Nats. I was hoping to do very well with it.
Yeah, I think 6-3 is
6-3 is.
I'm gonna call that successful.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty good. But
Yeah.
I was hoping to see Dofi. I was hoping to see Shanks. I was hoping to see Purple Luffy, and I was hoping to see BY Luffy. A lot of the decks that I figured were meta and what most people were going to bring, and 4 of my 9 matches were against those decks.
Okay.
So I didn't see very many as I expected.
Yeah. What was the other 5 random decks?
So Lucci, which
tough.
yeah, last 2 weeks before Nats. Originally, I was hearing like, okay, not a lot of Lucci's going to be there because of Blackbeard, but then Blackbeard kind of phased out. Oh, that's another one I wanted to see, but I didn't see any.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, and then I saw Yamato, I saw Nanel, I saw Reiju, and what was the last one?
Nanel seems really tough.
Yeah. Oh.
Nami.
Nami.
Yeah, you came out with the Nami win, right?
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I beat that Nami.
how strong actually Nami is, it can be into that matchup. But
Yeah.
I guess we'll go into why. Why in particular do you choose to play the leader? Is it the matchups? Is it the leader? Is it the cards?
I think it's a combination of things.
Yeah.
I do like the challenge. There's a challenge of like, I'm already starting at 3 lives. I'm starting 2 cards down compared to everybody else. But you are a 6K, so there is some advantages. And then I also do really like the combination of colors, purple being ramp and then red just having some of the best top end in the game.
Was there any particular cards for 09 that just kind of launched this forward, basically?
Yeah, Gum Gum Giant for sure. It's
A defensive card and a 3 life leader? It's
yeah, crazy. And Cycle, yeah, Gas. And then Purple Luffy as well, the secret, the 9 cost, on play, get rush, draw a card. It's searchable if you're running the Straw Hat package. So you can search it with your Nami. Just another good top end that you can see.
Okay.
And then Sanji as well is one that some people have been on and some people have not been on, and that is the play style I'll be swapping in tonight.
Okay.
It is also a very good card for it.
Okay, got it. I guess the one thing is, when playing against, because I played against Taylor a whole lot for practice. I was playing a lot of Blue Dofi, and there's actually it's an older card that's kind of a big problem, and it's actually and a newer card, right? Is Purple Kid, the 7-drop, and if you combine that with Shanks, there are some insane turns where Shanks minuses 1, and then Kid pluses 1, so it's like -2 to your opponent's board, except for the leader, right? Is -1, which is pretty strong. Like it actually forces your opponent not to attack you for a single turn, and it saves so much counter. That +1, 2, 3K gets a little ridiculous.
It's pretty strong, to be honest. And yeah, that's a card I forgot to shout out for 09.
There's so many cards,
and then Roger as well
are so good.
Both of those are very good into this deck.
Okay, yeah. I know that. I think a lot of people though they pretty much have decided like a 1-tick of Roger for like almost any red deck.
Yep.
They're not like on a full tech of it unless the meta gets way too slow for some reason, which it's not going to be. But if it does get too slow, you could see like more Rogers coming in because.
Totally.
The anti-block is so silly. Like, the meta gets so slow that they play blockers. You just play this card to just the games get forced.
Game's done. Yep. And especially in a deck like RP Luffy, where that's what was so strong about Gear 5 10 cost Luffy is you can set up and then go for game. But now not having to clear your entire board, you can set up all of your big guys, whether that's Kids, Newgates, Shankses, ahead of time, rush Luffy's, and then you drop your Roger, you're swinging with all of them unblockable.
Okay. So. I want to talk about a couple cards that actually got dropped off because of this. I feel like, things like the events, like Radical Beam are just gone. And then weird one is Diablo Jambe is gone, right? Which is really interesting, but the reality is you don't need it, right? Because you're just going to be attacking your opponent with 2 or 3, 4 big guys at one point, right? And the Roger's like the new the new problem, right?
Exactly. And then the thing is as well is like with the addition of 8.5 starter decks, you also got the Uso-Hachi, which rests most of the blockers. So it's like you have so many different other routes to go for game rather than having to rely on Jambe. And honestly, in my opinion, better routes. Because Jambe makes only one character unblockable, whereas Uso-Hachi, rest a blocker, and then all of your guys are going to be swinging at lead.
Well, let's go into the deck list. The deck list is going to be on the side here from what we're looking at. You can pull this up if you want. There's kind of a general, what's like the baseline of the deck list you would consider?
Yeah. So I'm just going to go through it right here. Sure. There's a few things that I would consider as kind of like main core. So you want your rampers. So I'm running 4 of the Zoro-Juurou. And then I'm also running 4 Bond Clay. That is pretty much standard. Now, some people do like to run extra rampers, and I am one of those. I am running 2 of Lead Perform Disaster.
Some people are playing like the 3-cost event, but that's very hard.
Yes, right. It's still good. Like if you're going first, you see it on your 3-Dawn turn, which is great. And then the second part of the effect is, so you ramp 1 active, and then second part is if there's a 6K or more, then you ramp a second Dawn active. I personally, since you are a 3-life leader, being able to get a card back with draw, it just feels so much stronger. So, and I feel like with 10 cards that give you your ramp, you're not really going to miss. Being able to ramp in your early stages.
You hopefully see like a Nami as well to see the Zoro-Juurou in case you really whiff. But what about the mid-game stages that you're kind of looking for? This is like obviously the early core.
Yeah, right? Early core, you're going to do that. And you want to ramp to your big guys. You have Yasopps, which is like a mini kid for 1 turn. Great card. If you can chain that into like a 7-cost kid, even like a 7-cost Sanji, being able to rest stuff that next turn. That's kind of like your mid-game that you're looking for. You do have other options, but that would be the mid-game that you would most of the time look for. And then after that, you have your big boss monsters, which honestly, there are so many options for red and purple. But I'm going to go through the options that I chose. So I'm running 2 of the 9-cost secret Luffys. Again, just being able to replace itself, it gets rush, searchable off of the Nami is huge. I'm running 3 of the 9-cost Newgates. Really strong, really solid. Just buff your leader from 6K to 8K.
Okay.
If you already have Kid on board, you're now a 9-cost leader, or 9K leader. I'm running 3 of the 10-cost Shanks from OP09. Just really easy aggro. And then I was running 2 of the 10-cost Rogers. Okay. I felt like there were certain matchups where I needed to see Roger, so having a 2 of in terms of consistency for the play style I was going for with this deck made it very possible.
Did he win? Did he lose you any games, actually?
He didn't lose me any games. Okay. He won me my Nami match. He won me a Pluffy match. Yeah. He won me a Shanks match. Actually, the 2 Shanks matches I played.
Yeah, they're gross.
Yeah.
Against Shanks.
It's just really strong.
Okay.
So.
And then the round out the deck.
Round out the deck, you have your searchers. So I run 4 of the 1-drop Namis. For 2Ks, I have 4 of the Uso-Hachi. Amazing 2K. And then I was kind of split. I do have in this deck currently 3 of the 6-cost blocker Sanjis, and then 1 Fra-Nosuke.
Okay.
Felt like there were times that sometimes just having 1 more rusher could win you games, and so I don't feel like ever since we've dropped 5-cost or 10-cost Gear 5 Luffy, you're not playing blocker Sanji as a blocker that often anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but it is nice to have. So that's your other searchables. I was running 1 Jet Gatling 0-cost event just in case I needed it.
Ramps too, if you hit
Ramps as well. And then in terms of filter cards / blockers or defensive items, I was running 10. Okay. So I'm running 2 O-Namis, 5 Queen, or 4 of the 5-cost Queens, and then 4 of the Gum Gum Giants.
Yeah, and I kind of want to put an emphasis when playing against you that the Queen matters so much in almost every single matchup. Ends up being an attacker most of the time to help you finish the games, but like it lets you stall out 1 whole turn, and most of the time Queens lead to more Queens.
Yeah.
And double queening on a turn to draw to another event, like it makes a big frustration for every opponent.
It does. And there's even times where you ramp so fast and there are opportunities to play like a big body, which you will, but sometimes you don't have more, which is why you need to start cycling. Okay. And you can even do stuff like Queen and Yasopp. So you now become a 7K leader, you establish a blocker, you filtered your hand, and you still have 1 Dawn active for Giant.
What optional cards are you looking at? Right now you're looking at Sanji, right? And then I see another card over there. Is that a Robin?
Yes, this is the Nico Robin.
Is this just for 1 specific card of Rebecca?
Rebecca's good. It's great into the Pluffy matchup. If they are running Bonclays, it turns into a Bonclay war.
Okay, it's good in the mirror too,
Yeah, good into the mirror as well. And then also, I know Bonnie has kind of fallen off a little bit, but this does help you a lot in the Bonnie matchup as well. It can get rid of the Rosinante blocker, also their searchers.
Okay, got it, yeah. And then I want to talk about some other big cards. Obviously, I think the 10-drop Luffy is more of a black-purple Luffy thing now. I think it can do well in the mirror, but let's say we're not facing the mirror. We have to think about things realistically. What about 9-cost Mom? People have been trying it a lot lately. I think they're mostly doing it for fun. In my opinion, but what about the 9-cost Mom?
I think it actually can be very good. You do heal. You can get rid of an annoying threat, and you also you heal. It can be really strong, but there are also times where it just feels like your aggro from other options, whether that be Shanks or Rush Luffy, is just a stronger option, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I mean, we have to end the game faster than we need to stall the game. Mom stalls the game.
Exactly.
But this deck does not want to do. It kind of reminds me, this deck actually, when it came out, everyone just kind of reminded it of Whitebeard. Whitebeard being a 6K leader with basically 6 life, but they just basically called it it really is a 3-life leader when you really think about it, Whitebeard. And when you're playing Whitebeard, you have to end the game fast. It doesn't matter what happens. Your opponent plays cards on the board, you almost don't care. And one stylistic thing that you guys need to realize with this deck, when you get to the point where you have like one kid or one Newgate, you literally ignore your opponent's board. You only go for face. Because if the opponent has 5, 6K monsters, that doesn't matter because you're going to just eat their. They can't hit you. Like it costs too much in order for them to do that.
And that was my game plan and how I teched for the Dofi matchup. And the one Dofi matchup I did see, I saw my curve perfectly, like I wanted to. So I went second. Bonk.
I think that we just completed like a full ass guide. Okay, and really, this is like again, this is kind of a dark horse in my opinion, but very solid deck. I think it's actually a lot of people's favorite decks because it's very simple. Is there anything? How do you think? I guess there really isn't much. Is there any shout outs where we can find you if we need to ask you any questions?
No, I just kind of lurk in Keck's Discord, so feel free to hit me up. I'm usually in there as Project Green, but I do post in the RP Luffy channel quite a bit. It is one of my favorite decks, and it'll be really interesting to see what we can do in EBO2 with the searchers, where you can search any of your top end.
Oh yeah,
so that'll be
2-drop event. Yeah,
it'll be really interesting.
I think that's good. So, okay, yeah, get an easy way to find Newgate. That's great. Okay,
I can chain my Newgates for sure then.
Yeah. Actually, it makes it like a lot of things easier. Going second is going to be broken. Actually. All right. Well, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you're here watching this end cut, you're a real one. Make sure you guys like if you're liking the video, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you all in the next video. Ciao.
Ka-chow.